Fellow rail enthusiasts, museum lovers, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. I am JL Singh, Secretary of the Rail Enthusiast Society. We are now at the beginning of the second day of our third international conference after a good, successful day yesterday when we had as many as 7 speakers. The first speaker yesterday was Matthew Gauthier of Expo Rail Canada, perhaps the largest museum in the world. A second speaker was Prashant Mishra, who spoke of the setting up of museums and sustaining them on the southwestern railway zone of the Indian Railways. A third speaker took us to a different world, a close cousin of the railways, that is tramways. The only tram system running in India at Calcutta is now 150 years old. He told us about the condition of the system, which is not very good now. Then we had Sanjay Mukherjee, who as Divisional Railway Manager of the Tinsukia Division of the Indian Railways, set up a brand new museum, which has come out very well and doing very well. Stefano Menazzo, President of What Train, then took us around to various museums all over the world and gave us a glimpse of what museums are like in the rest of the world. James Botton told us about the Stafford Barn Railway and Museum in the UK. And lastly, Harshvardhan told us the story of 2 roundhouses, one which has been converted into a stadium, and the second which has become a museum. We have an equally large array of speakers today, perhaps larger than yesterday. But we will start by telling you a little about the Rail Enthusiast Society. See, the Rail Enthusiast Society, our slogan is that we are a society of rail enthusiasts, by rail enthusiasts, and for rail enthusiasts. Of course, the wordings are not totally original, but borrowed from Abraham Lincoln, the very well-known President of the United States of America. See, the genesis of the society was this book that you now see on the screen, Indian Railways, Most Miles, Most Miles. This book was brought out in 2014, and it happened to be a dedication to the rail enthusiast without actually intentionally trying to be one. But ultimately, almost all the articles in it were written by rail enthusiasts. After the book was released, it was an absolute success, and some of us got together to celebrate. And there the idea came up that if such a book is a success, why don't we start a magazine that would be for rail enthusiasts and by rail enthusiasts? Now, if you bring out a magazine, if it is brought out by one person, then it will probably die with that person. So the idea put forward was, let us form a society which will start the magazine. And that is how the Rail Enthusiast Society was born. But then once you have a society, you can do far more than just bring out a magazine. So our objectives include to provide a platform for all rail enthusiasts to interact, share, and document their ideas and views. Of course, publishing of the magazine was and remains one of our main areas of interest, and it is a quarterly magazine brought out every 3 months. Then the idea was that we will spread the message of rail heritage and history to even those who are not members of our magazine, of our society, and we will try and facilitate rail enthusiasm in every way possible. The society was registered on December 28, 2015 with the Registrar of Societies in New Delhi. Any person who is a rail enthusiast is very welcome to join the society. We have corporate membership as well as individual membership. Individual membership is of 3 kinds: life, ordinary, or associate. Our intention is not to have only quantity, but quality. And we are quite certain that every member of the society is a very passionate and genuine rail enthusiast. Today, we have something like 230 individual members and 19 corporate members, with a few more in line. Now, the question that arises is, who is a rail enthusiast? One of the best examples I can give you, you will see in this picture. Incidentally, the person in the picture is probably one of the most passionate rail enthusiasts I've met, JL Singh, whom you will be hearing during the conference as well. Here he is photographing one of the sleepers at Shimla, Kalka station of the Kalka Shimla Railway. Our definition of a rail enthusiast is a person who has a sustained and passionate interest in any or all aspects of the railways, maybe in India, maybe overseas. You do not have to be a railwayman. You do not have to be a professional railwayman. In fact, I find the most passionate rail enthusiasts are those who are not professional rail persons. Now, as I mentioned, our main idea to start the society was the bringing out of a magazine, which we also feel is a magazine of, by, and for rail enthusiasts. It is not just a magazine. I mean, we find that in India, there are magazines on almost every subject under the sun, but there was no magazine which was dedicated to rail enthusiasts. This is a magazine that fills this gap. There are such magazines, especially in the West, a large number, but there was none in India. Because we did have the IRFCA, which was only an e-group and not a physical magazine. So the idea was that we bring out a physical magazine, which would fill this gap. Our first magazine was launched on the 6th of August 2016. Since then, we have had 25 magazines. I feel we have covered possibly every area under the sun which a rail enthusiast would be interested in. Most of our magazines had a collection of articles on different subjects, but we had 6 magazines that had a particular theme. These 6, one theme was rail tunnels, another was rail architecture. Then we had Anglo-Indians and the railways, then one on rail electrification, another one on rail signaling, and then one on the southwestern railway zone of the Indian Railways. Over time, we will bring out one magazine on perhaps all the different zones of the Indian Railways. So there is an idea of what the Indian Railways are all about. The magazine, as I said, covers almost every topic. Perhaps what we cover the most is rail photography. Ours is a very pictorial magazine, and you will find that maybe 1/3 of the magazine by area is only photographs. We have a photo featured in each issue. Of course, we cover a lot of history and heritage, locomotives, rolling stock, tunnels, bridges, signaling. We also give a lot of trip reports, which may be in India, which may be overseas. Rail modeling is another important aspect. We have reports on foreign railways. In other words, anything that might interest a rail person. These are some of the covers of some of our magazines. You can read the main articles that are there. One interesting photo feature you can see is steam loco in Riga. This is not Riga in Europe, but it is Riga in the state of Bihar in India, where there was a sugar plant which used steam locomotives to transport the sugarcane and the finished product in the past. Today, of course, the steam locomotive is not running anymore. These are 2 more of our magazines, one which featured rail tunnels. The 25th magazine, which has not yet been released and will be released immediately after this conference, is a tribute to all our earlier magazines. We have selected articles from a previous magazine and put them together in one issue. It is much larger than a normal issue, and all our regular members will be getting this magazine over the next 10 days or so. Here are the covers of all the previous 24 magazines, which you can see together. How can you get the magazine? Perhaps the easiest and most economical way is to become a member. Members will get a free copy if you are in India. If you are overseas, then of course, if you want a physical copy, we will charge you the postage and or the courier rate. An e-copy you will get free, even if you are overseas. You can subscribe only for the magazine, but it is not as economical as becoming a member of the society. For becoming a member, please contact the secretary. I've given you the telephone numbers and the email ID, plus a postal address to which you can write a letter. Now, apart from the magazine, we have been introducing various other activities from time to time. One of them is organized rail trips. Of course, all rail enthusiasts keep making rail trips all the time, but we have organized trips where we have gone as a group. Three of our most, let's say, successful trips have been one on the Patalpani Karakoram section of the Western Railway. This is we didn't travel down this section on train, but 8 of us hiked down from Patalpani to Karakoram. Of course, it was downhill, so the trip wasn't too difficult, but it was an interesting trip, crossing tunnels and viaducts and bridges and so on. Another trip was the Dabhoi-Miagam section, which is perhaps the oldest meter gauge section in the world. Of course, it has recently been converted from meter gauge to broad gauge, so it does not. The meter gauge section does not exist anymore. The most recent trip was one on the Kalka-Shimla railway, where we went up from Kalka to Shimla in a chartered rail car. The most interesting trip. Of course, as I said, any rail enthusiast is making rail trips all the time. Then we assist members in any rail enthusiast activities. We organize walks and participation in special events like the 50th year of the Rajdhani Express, which when started was the most iconic train in India. We participate in events like 150 years of Calcutta trams. This is what Saurav talked to you about yesterday. Then we facilitate railways and other stakeholders who might be interested. Then one very common activity is visiting sites. One of the sites we visited was the USBRL Chenab Bridge. USBRL stands for Udaipur-Srinagar Baramulla Rail Link. This is the rail link from India to the Kashmir Valley. The British built railways all over India. The only two places they did not cover was the West Coast and the Kashmir Valley. And this is because of the very difficult terrain. The Konkan Railway has covered the West Coast, and now this is covering the Kashmir Valley. Trains are already running in the Kashmir Valley, but there's a small link which is left, and this is the Chenab, one of the links is the Chenab Bridge. Here you can see the gorge through which the Chenab runs, and you can see the beginnings of the arch bridge on either side of the gorge. When complete, this bridge will be the highest arch bridge anywhere in the world. It is 359 meters high, higher than the Eiffel Tower. KMRCL stands for the Calcutta Metro. DMRC is the Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. NCRTC is the National Capital Region Transport Corporation, which is building rapid rail systems between Delhi and its hinterland. The DFCCIL is the Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India, who are building two dedicated freight corridors, one from Calcutta to Delhi and beyond, and one from Delhi to Bombay. This is the first time that we are building lines which are dedicated to freight only. Normally, all lines cover passenger and freight trains. Then, of course, we have visited Howrah Station, Delhi Station, and other stations. Another thing that we have introduced recently are monthly talks. We have already had 30 talks on possibly every subject that you can think of. The last rail talk, for example, was on rail literature, and it was very well attended and very appreciated. We've also started the publishing of books and have published one book till now. And of course, we've had debates and quizzes. I would like to mention the book that we have published. It is called Black Beauty's Surviving Steam Locomotives in India, written by Vikas Singh. This book photographically documents over 300 locomotives that exist, steam locomotives that exist in India today. Most of the copies are sold out, but a few copies are still left. So if you order now, you will get a copy. If you want a copy, please send an email or a message to the following telephone number or address or email ID, and we'll give you details of how much to pay, where to pay, and how to pay. Membership of the society is open to anyone who is a rail enthusiast. All we have to do is to fill in the membership form, which is available on the last page of each magazine that we issue and on our website. Send us a subscription. It can be in cash, it can be a check, It can be through a bank transfer. Send it to us. Send us the form, and as well as the details of what subscription you have paid, and you are a member immediately. If you have a problem getting the form, just send an email to our email address, and we will take care of the rest. I put together a few pictures that you can see that appear in our magazine. This picture is from a place called Adarki. You can see how the train is going through a cutting. This is a picture of what was used to be called the Jubilee Bridge in Kolkata, and is now called the Sampiti Setu. The old bridge is still there. You can see it behind the new bridge, but the new bridge is now operational and the old bridge has been given up. The Rail Enthusiast Society lobbied that instead of destroying the bridge completely and selling off the steel as scrap, we save some of the girders and some of the parts of the bridge in a bridge museum. This is one of the viaducts on the Patalpani-Kalakond section down which we had hiked. In fact, this is the new viaduct. The piers of the old viaduct can be seen to the right. Here's a picture of, this is the picture of Kalka station. Thank you very much. This is what I wanted to tell you about today.